we hear from our speaker, and then of course we'll come back to talking among ourselves. So John, please, could you help us bring in our speaker? Thank you so much. Blessing, you are welcome. Blessings from Nasarawa. Thank you so much for joining us. So at this point, John, please, over to you. Let's hear from our speaker so we can get right away.
Right, thank you so very much, Lady Jennifer. But could you just welcome some more persons who may not have said hi to us while I get these rolling online right now as we are streaming? Okay, please kindly ask to know those that have not said hi. Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, that's awesome. That's not a problem.
Wonderful.
That's true. We have other people. Hi, Dami. Dami's from Lagos, Nigeria. You're welcome. That's also true. We're streaming on other platforms, so Zoom is not just the only platform we're using, and of course we expect that more people are going to join us. But at this point, I would actually like to hear from us now that they're giving us the opportunity to chat a bit. I'm actually going to call anybody on this spot, but please, would you like to share a few thoughts on your experience so far? I mean, hi Daramola. You're welcome, my team member. All right, so anybody here would like to share a thoughts or maybe what they have done so far with the training received from Yali, or even if you're connected, but what you've done so far in making an impact in your immediate society and immediate community. Anybody would like to share? If you don't raise it, you can just raise your hands and we'll relate that to you. If nobody's raising their hands, I'll pick any name.
Please do that. Please do that.
All right, anybody would like to share with us? I don't want anybody to run away from this call. All right, let me look at the names. I'm not going to. Okay. Ali Barry, you're already unmuted. So would you like to share with us? And it seems you're speaking already and we can't hear you or something because I can see the motion on your audio. Ali Barry, can you hear me? If you can hear me, could you just share with us on the impact of Yali so far and how it has impacted? I think Ali's talking, but we can't hear him because and now he's muted. Barry, can you hear me? Barry Wise from Sierra Leone. I think he's talking, probably a network issue. Okay, while you're trying to sort that out.
Okay.
Mano, if you can hear me, would you like to share a few thoughts with us? Hi, Obasi Sen. Did I get that? Oh my God. From Kwara State, you're most welcome. Please, just in case I didn't pronounce your name very well, I'm so sorry about that. But Mano, please, could you share with us very briefly? Ali, I can see your video on, but we can't seem to hear you. So maybe you check your sound. I know you are trying to talk. I can see the movement, but we cannot hear what you're saying. So could you just check your audio? But in the meantime, Mano, if you can hear me, do you want to share with us?
All right.
Mano, are you here?
All right.
Morufat, thank you so much for dropping that message. It really was a great experience.
Okay.
It sure was. Okay, Morufat, do you want to share more with us on that? Do you want to speak? You can unmute and just speak if you want to do that. Do you want to unmute your mic and share your thoughts?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone.
I think I can hear it.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Please go ahead.
All right.
Good afternoon.
This is Morufat, Group 16, Cohort 15. The training was really an interesting one for me.
Awesome.
And in the course of the training, I realized that we are not just being trained to have knowledge. We are being trained to actually give back to our society. Whatever we have learned on that program is for us to give back to our society. How can we do that? By being involved. We have to be involved in whatever is happening around in our environment. And in the course of that, I've been able to establish a mental health support group at the University of Ibadan, at the Department of Nursing, where people who are having issues regarding to their mental health comes around for a brief intervention. And at the end of the day, if after thorough assessment, there is need for them to see a psychiatrist, then they will be referred to a proper mental health facility. And in the course of doing this, my students do too. They are there to assist in doing some certain things. And in so doing, I've been passing on the knowledge that I've learned from this cohort, so that at least the world can know that, yes, Africa is going to be great. It might take us a time, but at a point in time, we will get there. And it's just a step at a time. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. Thank you so very much, Lady Jennifer, for that beautiful coordination.
Oh, Rufat, indeed. I mean, that was very inspiring. Amen.
Okay. So thank you also, Lady Rufat. I hope I didn't murder that name. I didn't murder that name. I don't like murdering names, but you just have to. Okay. Thank you so very much. All right. I forgot to say that Lady Brittany or Orikbeloye will be, she's smiling already. She'll be taking down some things as regards everything that we'll be doing right here. So if you do not have the perfect network or strong network signal from your end, you could just read through the charts, but and then read through the chart platform, and you could get things done from.
Final project.
John, are you still here? We can't hear you again. John, if you can hear me, are you still talking? Because we can't seem to hear you. Okay. I think John may be having a little bit of issue as well. Oh yes, Ali, please go ahead, because I think John is having an issue. The network issue has moved to John's side because we can't hear him. So please do go ahead, Ali, while we wait for John. I think Ali's network issues, they're really serious issues. Anyways, I'm trying to confirm from John if he's still talking or it was just an issue. But Ali, if you can hear me, please do go ahead. If your sound is good to go. Okay. Okay, I just noticed that John has left the meeting actually, so I think he's really having network issues. So please, we'll continue. So Ali, seems you're still having issues. Any other person that would like to share? Oh, okay. You can type. It's fine. No problem. You can type. I understand the issue. Jennifer, we expect you to come back, please. Don't leave us at this point. All right. I would like to share while we're waiting for John to return. Please, could we mute our mics, please? If you can hear me, please, can you mute your mics so that we don't disturb other people, please? Traore, I hope I pronounced that properly. Please, could you mute your mic? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please, could you mute your mic? Okay, so for me personally, I think thank you very much for muting your mic. For me personally, the experience. Oh, hi, Ayola, all the way from England. You're so welcome. Thank you for joining us today. So for me personally, I would say that the experience was worthwhile indeed. And I think in a way it gave me, oh, I just noticed my video is
Hello,
off.
hello,
Who's that? Who's speaking,
hello,
please?
Ali Barry from Sierra Leone.
Oh,
Barry
Ali,
Wise.
your voice is finally here. Okay, let me let you
Okay,
speak now that we can hear you. Please go ahead.
okay, okay. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Anyways, good afternoon once more to everybody from my side.
Good afternoon.
This is Ali Barry. Anyways, the Yali training was awesome, and I really believe there is high possibility of transformation in the youth of today. And from what I have learned so far, I believe the youth of today are potential leaders of tomorrow. Of course, I was involving into so many organizations, and I believe my involvement have been so uh, disturbing. I had some issues I was not expecting to have because of I was not that mature in that leadership qualities. I believe I had some other things that I have learned now that I never had before. So I was like going through those constraints, and now of very recent, I have the ability to now lead an organization, and then I wrote a project with my organization to renovate
Yeah,
science libraries. And I think
in
two
that's
weeks
great.
ago, hello, are you getting me? Hello.
Yes, we can hear you, Ali Bari. We can
Okay,
hear you.
okay. So 2 weeks ago, I wrote a project. Of course, I just received with my colleagues, anyways, but I am just leading with my colleagues. So we have just got an approval from UNESCO that they will be supporting us to
Yay!
renovate 3 science schools. Of course, they have some requirement they made, and the first priority I made has been the one school I attended. I
Wow.
attended the Prince of Wales, yes, senior secondary school here in Freetown, and then I have got the opportunity to take that project there. And then that was my first priority. And then we have been given an opportunity again to choose 2 more. So I think that is what I am working on presently with all other
Yay.
activities. So I want to say thank you to the Yali and thanks to all my colleagues. Of course, Mufat is here.
That's
She's been
great
doing,
news.
yeah, she's been doing very well. And then we've been doing things together. We were in the same group, group 16. So I
Yeah.
appreciate everybody in group 16 for all the effort. Of course, we'll be helping each other, and I appreciate everybody. So this is so far how I've been involved. Although I have other involvement, but the outcome has been slow. So we are just waiting for something big to happen. Anyways,
Mm.
like we have await. Yes, yes, yes. So we appreciate everybody for being part of the Yali, and the interactions have been amazing. Like for myself, I've made so many friends out of my country now. I have friends in
No.
Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon. So I appreciate everybody for that. So far that's
No.
how, yes, that's how been my own influence. Anyways, thank you to everybody for this opportunity. This is Barry Wise. Of course, that's what they know from the house. I am Ali Barry from Sierra Leone.
Oh, that's great news. Well done. Hello, Alaoshun. Ali is done speaking.
Because I think Yes, I didn't know I was muted. Please, please, can you hear me now? I was calling on you,
Yes.
Moturayo. I was like, your hand has been up since. So would you like
Oh,
to share a few thoughts with us?
oh, okay, okay. So basically, I've also learned a lot, like every other person on the program. But what stands out for me is, what we learned leadership. But what struck me particularly was when we talked about the leadership toolkit. How that is important for every leader to be able to use your kit. So it's like a farmer who is going to the farm and then goes with all the equipment that he or she would need on the farm. The same way is how a leader would also, get into any leadership experience or situation using his or leadership toolkit. And I remember the speaker saying that it would need you to use a kind of leadership skill per time. So in some situations you want to go hard, in some other situations you want to be soft, in some other situations you want to be understanding, you want to really get to learn from people, share ideas before you then know what the right thing to do is. So in my own capacity, working with the organization that I work with here in Nigeria, the organization is an NGO. It's called Mayen. The name is a mouthful. That's why we shorten it to Mayen. In full, it means Mentoring Assistance for Youth and Entrepreneurs Initiative. So we have, a lot of programs, in school programs that we take to schools. We have also a youth hub that we have in one of the underserved communities where we work. So in my capacity, I work with a lot of volunteers. And it means that so many people are reporting on projects to me. And sometimes it can be very, very frustrating. So with that experience, learning about the leadership toolkit, I was able to see that, I am supposed to act as a leader differently in different situations. So it means really, really mastering how to use my toolkit so that I know how to handle people per time, because, by nature, humans are different. And then so many people come on a project. You work with volunteers and interns with different backgrounds, different exposure, and a whole lot of things. So understanding people and knowing how to use my leadership toolkit are right would definitely help me in people management so that, I get the impact work that I do going. So that's one thing I'll never forget. That's one experience I'll never forget from the Yali, experience.
Amazing. That's fantastic.
So that's all.
Yes, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing with us. As much as our cohort was online and we didn't really get to interact with people directly, for me, I would say that the impact the Yali program had on me was really showing me that there were young people in Africa who are willing and interested in making a difference in their communities. Sometimes we sit and it's like, oh, the youths, you people are not doing anything, blah, blah, blah. We get to hear that a lot. It's all social media. But Yali made me see that, my goodness, you mean there are this number of young people who are interested in making a difference, who have even started doing the work. I know some of us here, some of the work we do, we don't get, in quote, big grants or big donations from somewhere. We, by ourselves, we try to mobilize funds, we try to mobilize resources. We don't necessarily have somebody that will tell us, oh, well done for doing this job, take $50 million, but we're still doing it. We're passionate about it, even with all the challenges and all that. And so it was really a beautiful experience to see. And I would really say, in a sense, it gave me hope. It gave me hope for Africa. I thought, oh my goodness, if we have this number of people, this number of young people who are already doing stuff, who are willing to see the bigger picture, who are willing to make a difference in their community, then there is actually hope for Africa. So all hope is not lost. So for me, I think that was one thing Yali did for me. It literally revived my belief in first of all in Nigeria, my country, then of course in the greater Africa, because getting to interact with people from different countries. All right, so we should be moving right away to getting our speaker to talk to us. But I just want to take one more person. I'm going to put her on the spot, and that's because I know her. Daramola, please, are you here? Could you share with us briefly the impact of Yali? Could you share with us? Mary, can you hear me? I was waiting for you to speak. Is Mary here? Or she doesn't just want to be put on the spot?
She's here. She's here.
So please, could you share a few thoughts with us before we get right into welcoming our speaker? Hello, Mary.
Looks like she doesn't want to be put on the spot.
Do you mean my home, Mary?
Yes, you. Oh, yes, Mary Tosin Daramola. Yes, that's Mary.
Can't see anything.
Oh, thank you. Well, Yali has taught me so many things. I've been able to manage my workers because I am a nurse and also an entrepreneur. And I've been into training some less privileged people in branding and in clothing. So, and picking up less privileged people and their own mindset is totally different from my own mindset. So I've not been able to cope with them. I've not been able to cope with them. I've been able to manage them since I gained some experience with Yali. I've been able to manage them and I've been a better person. And I've been able to impact some knowledge into them so that they too will be able to cope or build up to my own standard. So Yala has really trained me and I really appreciate, and I've been able to mix, I've been able to mix with people and I really appreciate the cohort. Thank you very much.
Awesome. That is awesome. Thank you so much, Mary,
Hello?
for sharing. Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. That's
Right.
just what I want to say. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. Okay, without much ado, we're going to welcome our speaker right away. He has been so patient. He has been patiently waiting for all of us to speak. But now we'll have to give him, that's why he's here. He has given us this time. He has allowed us to share our thoughts. Now we want to hear from him. So I would like to read his profile before I welcome him. Chukwuma Ephraim Okinwa, popularly known as CEO, due to his initials, is a social entrepreneur and a public affairs analyst. He's the director of Queen's Model Group of Schools and the convener of Youth Decide 2019. Okenwa is the convener of Employability and Entrepreneurship Summit, an annual capacity building platform since 2015. CEO is the brain behind the One Nigeria Reality Project, which is endorsed by the National Orientation Agency. He is equally the convener of ADA 042. As an SME enthusiast, please could you help us mute your mic? Who is that, please? Could you help us mute your mic? Thank you so much, so that people can hear. Oh no, our speaker today is a renowned Yali fellow, so we need to talk to him. All right, thank you. As an SME enthusiast, he has been involved as a mentor in projects such as the Youth Empowered by Coca-Cola and the Boost Your Business training powered by Facebook. He is the executive director of Lead Network and a principal partner at H. Formans Consulting. Okenwa has been appointed twice as a Yali network influencer in Nigeria. Okenwa has taken part in short intensive courses such as Diplomacy 4.0 from United Nations Institute for Training and Research and Leadership in Criminal Intelligence at the Defense Intelligence College, Abuja. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed Yali fellows, it is my great honor to welcome, did I say to the platform now, to the podium, Mr. Chukwuma Ewa, aka. Thank you so much for joining us and thank you for your patience. Thank you.
Yeah,
Over
good
to you
evening
now.
all. Good evening all. I'm so pleased to be here this evening. I guess you all can hear me. I hope the voice is loud and clear.
Yes, it's loud and clear. I can hear you.
Okay, so fine. So today we'll be sharing on the subject impact. And of course, the goal of this particular section is actually to help us understand clearly evaluate ourselves properly, whether we actually fall within the boundaries of that word, and how we can do more as young persons. You know, when the darkness is more, then the least of light is appreciated. But the more the light and the more strategic it is positioned, then the more it can be felt by a greater people, that are available to see that particular light. What does that mean? It's not just enough to maybe be a dim light and miss top darkness. So you just celebrate yourself just because the darkness is so thick. But I mean, there is a place for intensity and there is a place for repositioning to ensure that you are able to do well, make more impact in a particular sector. First, let me say that the Yali Network is a very brilliant initiative, considering the fact that, yes, Africa ordinarily should be not just the leader of other continents in the dictionary, as the first continent mentioned in the dictionary, but unfortunately from every indices, including the one that was released recently by the Transparency International, where Africa averaged at 32, the least behind every other continent. So as someone keep wondering why a continent with as much as landmass, arable space, such that is big enough to contain America, Europe, and China all put together, right? That's what the landmass of Africa offers us all. And then you also talk about the resources. I mean, from gold to bauxite to diamond, you all have all of that crude oil in Africa. And then you also talk about the resources, the potentials. I mean, Africa is the youngest continent where you have almost over 65% of the population as young persons, youthful. They have got the strength, they have got the vibe, they have got the The concern now will be, if Africa indeed have all of these potentials in terms of landmass, in terms of the human resources. But of course, according to OBS, there is a difference between human beings and human capital. So the fact also we have like a lot of young persons, who are energetic. The question is, how far is those strengths being actually directed in the right direction to create the needed impact? So looking at all of the advantages we have, I think my goal tonight will be to provoke us to begin to think, how can I begin to impact from the sphere of contact around me, move to the community level, and then to the state level. Okay, I'm getting a voice feedback. I don't know from the other streaming. Okay. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can hear you clear and loud.
Yes,
that's fine.
Hear you. We can hear you.
So our goal this evening would be understanding the part of this change, the trajectory, the impact we are talking about. Number two, how do we actually align ourselves to do more? Because one of the things I've often seen about us as young people, young Nigerians, we do not actually, and young Africans, understand how powerful we are. It all starts with believing that, yes, I can. But first of all, before you can actually say, I am making impact, I think there are three key words I want us to note, which is very important. That effect, that footprint you are leaving on the sands of time must be significant enough to be noticeable. It must be remarkable. That is the first key word. Two, if it has to be an impact, then it has to be sustainable, not something that is short-lived, not something that just comes like a smoke or vapor, and before you know, it is no longer seen. I mean, there should be something to show that something like this happened. Like, during the World War, when there was the detonation of nuclear bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, up to date, certain things are unable to grow there because the impact is sustainable, even decades after. So if it has to be impact, it has to be significant enough It has to be sustainable. And then, of course, at the end of the day, we want to ask the question, at the end of the day, what difference have you been able to make? If it is one that after the time in consideration, that is reviewed, or even the rate at which things are getting bad is far higher than the rate at which your change provides a solution, then of course the impact can be deniable. And we know that we are confronted with a hydra-headed challenge of you are trying to do something in one step direction, but then the force that is a kind of pulling you back in terms of the way things are retrogressing seems to be on the higher pace. So how do we actually begin to reverse this trend? You know, for those of us that are scientists, would remember Newton's third law of motion, that to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So we know that certainly Africa, like many persons have actually asked, yes, we've had some history, whether it be in the Berlin Conference, whether it be in the colonization, and all of the rest, very similar with what the Asian continents have. Today, Asian has so much risen to the point that before the COVID, 2 Asian nations were actually leading the world in passport world power, where you talk about Japan, that could visit 190 countries without visas, out of the 193 recognized by United Nations, and followed behind by Singapore, which translated from a third world to a first world not too quite long ago. So that means we are challenged. We've seen like templates from Asia. But why is it that even several years after African countries gained independence, the problem now became the leadership, where the leadership architecture was completely hijacked by a criminal set of elements who they have decided by every means that they are not going to let Africa to be free. Now the question is, what do we actually do in all of the space? As Yali Network have actually been able to help us appreciate that if you are talking about leadership, you must be thinking 3 things. It's either you're a business leader, or you want to make an impact in the civic space. You are thinking, enter the space to disrupt things. So that is one of the things we should begin to look at. That if we are talking about the context of this change, you can make an impact in the business field. When you look at our current dispensations, the great minds in Africa that actually disrupted the business space, the Dangotes, the likes of Tony Elumelu. One of the questions I've always asked myself, with the way as young persons we've managed our time, with the way as young persons we've managed our priorities, who amongst us will be the Dangote of my own generation? Who amongst us will be the Tony Elumelu of my own generation? And it's something that calls for serious concern and reflection. So having said that we should be looking at all of that public policy for maybe those that want to go into politics and governance. But beyond that now, we must be able to understand that whatever change we intend to make would be one that will confront the status quo. Now, the first thing I want us to appreciate when conversations are had about the state of Africa, I know that many of us I'm speaking to have been able to travel to, beyond Africa. Because when you travel beyond Africa, you can actually appreciate how retrogressive we've been in our ways of doing things. You can also appreciate that, being a first world nation is not a human development indices, like, of course, when you talk about income per capita and some of that, things like the healthcare systems and all of that. You discover that beyond some of those indices, one of the major things you actually appreciate about this whole thing we are talking about is the very fact that, it is an attitude. Being a first world nation is a function of attitude. Today, we talk about like African time. I don't even know where we begin to change like that kind of attitude, where people can fix a time in advance just to ensure that, if you want an event to actually start by 2, then you need to put in that the event will start by 12. So that at least before 2, everybody must have settled and all the rest of it. Where maybe like a public service can just be shut out without any notice. when I visited one of those countries beyond Africa. I mean, for me, 1 hour maintenance they wanted to do in about a month time, the notice was already put up. But back here home, it's a function of attitude. So whatever thing we are thinking of first is, how do I be the change? And how do I also translate this change on a massive scale? That to me, we made the impact. And let me take one of my favorite quotes from President Obama. He said, the change will not come if we wait for some person or some time or some ideal situation for the change to come. He said, we are the change we have been waiting for. You and I are the change we have been waiting for. So the first thing, first of all, is to take this change to a personal level. One of the questions I ask myself periodically, if everybody in Nigeria were to be like me, what kind of Nigeria are we going to have? If everybody in Africa is going to be like me, or is like me at the moment, what kind of Africa can we actually be able to boast of? If I'm the kind of person that probably ought to be in the office by 7:30, and I need to be, I find myself going there by 9, and everybody replicate the same, what kind of Africa are we going to have? What kind of nation are we going to have? So when we take that on a personal level, and you're able to sort it out, you've been able to impact yourself significantly, that it has become a core value that is guiding your life. The next thing now is to take it to the next level. And this real change begins with one person at a time, discipling, mentoring people to share the same value. When those persons now share the same value, you can now constitute a team and a value. And I'm happy to identify at this point certain mentorship or leadership trainings to actually become disruptors. What that now offers to us is that if we're able to work together as a team, then of course, what the scientists call the wave particle paradox can become a reality for this particular cohort. And what does that mean? If you've ever been in a hall during maybe a massive concert and all of a sudden the light is off, what do you notice? Everybody brings out their phone, and then just a little light, you've got to shine that little light. And before you know, the whole place is lit. If you look at light maybe coming out from a floodlight, maybe from the headlamp of a car, if you notice it very well, you actually discover there is the particulate nature of that particular light. It's more or less like scatter particle coming together to form a wave of floodlight. So that is what we call wave particle paradox. Now, what does that mean? I strongly believe that as through Yali Network and other platforms that we've connected to as young persons, as we brainstorm, as we change ourselves, because the greatest person that needs to be changed in Africa is the you that is listening to me. Once you're able to allow that change to happen, it will not be difficult to translate, to communicate that change to someone that is around you, because we are the change that we have been waiting for. And according to Mandela, please note this, because oftentimes in Africa, when we talk about leadership, people will always talk about experience. All these young persons that are making it to become a president, you need 6 packs. You understand? You need 6 packs to actually become a president. But listen, according to Mandela, he simply summarized leadership. He said a good head, please note that, a good head and a good heart will always make a formidable combination. A good head and a good heart. And what does that mean? These to me are the 2 most fundamental things you need to become a great leader, an impactful leader that will make sustainable impact. When we talk about good head, my dear, when you see African leaders take decisions, you will know that common sense is indeed not common. I'm telling you the simple truth. You can't imagine, like, maybe let me use a case study of Nigeria, where you have somebody is hello, okay. So you can have like a situation right here in Africa, particularly Nigeria, a nation that is faced with security challenge in the northern part of the country, and you see the same, leadership pardoning terrorists, forgiving them and reintegrating them into the communities. So when you talk about like maybe some other ones that are involved the civilians, you see like the military going on offensive, could name some projects like, Operation Crocodile Smiles, Python Dance. But when it comes to the real terrorists, to be dealt with. You talk about Operation Safe Corridor. What an irony. A project that is targeted as terrorists, that ought to crush terrorists, is answering such a beautiful name, Operation Safe Corridor. Now, the question is, with that kind of thing, can you actually agree that common sense is actually not common? And if indeed we've had a situation where terrorists repent and become a source of intelligence to the Nigerian military, how can you have up to 2,000 terrorists repenting and Nigerian military has not been able to crush the insurgency? It really bothers for answer to tell us that somebody is working against the progress of Africa. We've not had military men converting to become members of the Boko Haram, sharing military intelligence. So how is it that the Boko Haram sometimes have dislodged a whole military base, but we've not been able to see the military dislodge the insurgents completely from the region where they say they dwell? And in one of those fora, high-powered fora, at the National Orientation Agency, where I interfaced with the young man, the Major General in charge of that project. Because when he was speaking, he made a statement. He said, well, the Safe Corridor project, forgiving of, amnesty and all of that, forgiving of terrorists, that was consistent with global best practices. And I simply asked him a question. Please, sir, can you mention one nation with an ongoing insurgency challenge, right, that has adopted a similar model with Nigeria? And of course, he could not answer. I'm glad I'll be continuing that conversation on Monday in Abuja at the Nigerian Army Resource Center. But one thing I want us never mistake, the mistake never to make as young people, is to look down yourself. Please never, never look down on yourself. Yeah, I know we are not all in the same hall, but please, I want you to hit your chest and say, I can never look down on myself. I am more than I think. I am more than I see myself at the present. Please just make that affirmative statement, because truly, the greatness that Africa has been waiting for lies in someone listening to me here. And only if you can actually sow yourself like a seed and tell yourself, this change we are actually seeking, what, even to the extent of sacrificing my life. Because let me tell you the simple truth. Those who have held this nation bound for years, this continent bound for years, they are so determined. And let me tell you the simple truth. Please never make the mistake of concluding that Africa is the way it is now, probably by accident. Because sometimes when our leaders is actually faced with challenge, you begin to wonder. You begin to wonder, is it that these guys have actually done all they need to do, right? And probably the situation is strong enough to overwhelm them? Or is Africa the way it is indeed by design? And let me tell you, the latter is true. Africa is the way it is today by design. And of course, up to this 21st century, we can't just sit back and be blaming the colonial masters. The new phase of colonial masters, our own leaders at the moment, who will rather collaborate with the official colonial masters and continue the enslavement of citizens. Even up to right now in Africa, you have foreigners being celebrated more than the indigents, more than the owners of the continent. It is a very common practice, whether it be in our banking sector, in the transport system, in the hospitality sector, and all the rest. Even in the workplaces, experts are paid higher, with better conditions and all of that. So we keep seeing all of that. But then the question is, where do we really move from here? How do we actually deliver on all of this change that we are actually talking about? I think the first thing that we should be looking about is first, defining your own track. Initially, consistent with the template for Yali, I did mention that at this point, you should be able to decide and say, where do I really want to make that disruption? Is it in the business sphere? And listen to me, of course, if it is in the business or any sphere, please if you forget every other thing I've said tonight, for any, there is already in the future that you desire to be in, maybe in the next 10 years, in the next 7 years, whatever thing you say, I want to achieve, I want to become,
There is no way you can find somebody that is already a reflection of that kind of future. So what do you do? Connect with the future today. Because let me tell you the simple truth, the greatest secret of success I've seen is the law of association. You are as good as the kind of person you surround yourself with. So you want to be a business mogul, but of course, when we check the kind of friends, the people that you keep, are closely abreast with, there are people who have not handled 100,000, not to talk about 500,000, not to talk about 1 million. So when you come sharing your vision of how you intend to make a target of this, naturally, by default setting, they should doubt you. Because of course, it would be hypocritical for telling you, actually it's possible. It's not just natural. There's no way you can connect with that story. Even if he encourages you and say it's possible, you could go at your back and say, can you imagine the vision that this person just shared with me? Does he think becoming a millionaire is just a mean feat? That kind of thing. He or she does not actually have what it takes to understand that vision. And that is why a wise man also submits. He says you are the average of the 5 persons that are closest to you. Average of the 5 persons that are closest to you, you are like the average of it. So if the 5 persons that are closest to you are all millionaires, if you take the average, the likelihood of becoming a millionaire is there as a business mogul. So sometimes people ask, what is the secret of money making? People have asked me that question. I say, please, money making is not a secret. Open your eyes. People are making money everywhere. So what you just simply do is, what are they doing to make that money? And for you to actually discover, you need to submit to mentoring, you need to be apprenticed. And of course, you are going to learn the trade, you are going to learn the art, you are going to learn whatever thing they are doing. So that tomorrow, when you are talking about those influencing the business space, those sponsoring certain bills to influence, the future of SMEs within the country, you will be among them. I'll tell you the simple truth. When somebody becomes a voice in the business field, whether you see the person visible in the political terrain or not, the person are those influencers from behind the scene. They are usually very powerful. So that is an aspect that we may be able to reflect for those of you that know that, oh, I like money. I think I really need more of this money to make impact. I think I want to come to a point where I can sponsor NGOs, I can open foundation, that will clothe, widows, that will empower young girls, you understand? Help them to establish their businesses and all of the rest. To do that, my dear friends, you need money. And let me tell you this simple truth. Sometimes you hear people say it's not all about money. And some young Africans listen to me this evening to take up the challenge. They say this money, I go make the money. I must make money, I must match on this money, and I will use this money to make impact. Listen to me. In the political space, those with money have actually made investment out of politics and will always expect return on their investment. They have the money. So they take over the airwaves, sponsor jingles, cover the newspapers, the magazines, and all the rest. And politics is a game of the mind. They influence the mind of the people, make them to prefer maybe an old, clueless candidate above a vibrant professor that have got ideas and disrupted spaces. And even here, young Africans say they don't want to post their vote. The problem is not you. The problem is that your perception was managed. You heard so much about this person's jingle and believe that this person of the truth must be the most powerful candidate that have the chances of winning. Let the young Nigerians, let them wait. We actually know young persons have ideas, but let them wait. So it's a problem. But of course, with more young persons having money, disrupting this space, seeing that as a space they actually need to venture into, whether it be in telecoms, whether it be in agriculture, whether it be in education, whether it be in media, any area you want to make an impact, the simple secret to start is that after hearing me today, look for somebody that is already in that space. Tomorrow, today, put across a call and say, please, I am coming to submit to your mentorship. I want to make it. I want to succeed. Treat me the way you want to treat me. I am ready to serve. I am ready to submit. And guess what? If you serve, certainly service is the pathway to greatness. Let me move to the next point. Some others, their own calling and the area where they want to make so much impact is in the civic space, where you either turn out an activist or an advocate. You know, we need both of them. Those of them that are into advocacy, maybe run campaigns, tell people about SDGs, try to influence public policies, sponsor bills, you know, meet with those of them that are in places of authority to dialogue with them, massage their ego. So when you are doing that, you are doing advocacy. But then there are also those that their blood is hot. Even when you beg them not to talk, they can't just keep quiet. They can't just help not shouting until Africa truly change. And we actually need people like that. Those that are ready to confront the status, because sometimes advocates could do their work, and when they talk and nobody listens to them, they do not have the vibe sometimes to continue, or even to come to report to the public that we actually told the governor this or the president, and he refused to listen to us. But listen to me, when you now have the activists that we activate the advocates, we need these two pillars of people. Indeed, we can actually disrupt the civic space. Let me tell you the simple truth, like those of us that are in Nigeria know how terrible the Nigerian police force can be. They will write for you boldly that bail is free, but it is not free. Recently, you know, the police collected about 12,000 naira from a woman for not doing anything. I called the DP and I said, I want that money to be returned within the next 24 hours. And he did that. I mean, the way I spoke as if to say I was the IGP. But of course, one thing is when you realize, first of all, your office as a citizen, that the president of your country, I always like to put it like this, for those of us that are Nigerians, you can also apply that to your own country. The president of Nigeria is not more Nigerian than myself. Honestly, the president of Nigeria is not more Nigerian than myself. So being armed with that, number two thing that citizens need to understand, especially those of us in the civic space, my dear, a politician is not doing you a favor for taking a percentage of your money to build for you. The person is your employee and should be accountable to you. Unfortunately, someone will build one small road, build 2-inch road, a road he's claiming he spent 10 times of what he spent in US to build a kilometer of road that is about 12 inches or 20 inches, and Nigerians are clapping without even demanding for accountability. And Africans are clapping. Listen to me. If we must be able to hold our leaders accountable, we must make do with numbers. We must be able to count on data and hold them responsible based on data, not based on assumption, including for those of us that are educated. You want to engage on arguments, and you are talking about something without knowing about numbers. And according to Lord Kelvin, the physicist, the scientist, he said, when you are talking about something, and you cannot be able to talk about that in terms of numbers, in terms of quantity, you lack a qualitative knowledge of what you are talking about. So when you want to engage a politician that you ate such an amount of money, to demonstrate that you have a qualitative knowledge, learn to seek out for the numbers. Look out for the numbers. That is what will shock them. And let me tell you the simple truth. I have seen power shake. We see power shake, and I've seen power shake personally. When you decide to take a step based on research, get research and confront the powers that be. Listen to me. They are going to call you for a negotiation table. And guess what? Tell them your only negotiating power is the will of the people. You want the right thing to be done. I remember in one platform that a commissioner of police was there, and he made a statement, you know, bail is free, this is this, we don't collect bribes on the run, all the rest. And I asked him a simple question. Oga, do you fly to your office with the jet? I said, gone are the days of Roger. Roger, like when a police officer wants to collect money from you, is from the back. You understand? It's from the back. But now, a police officer can collect money visibly in the presence of everybody, and even return balance, return change. And I say, everybody see this, and I wonder why a head commissioner of police is not seeing this. And honestly, when we actually, you know, finished that conversation, he walked up to me I was like, did the police do anything different to me? That please, subsequently, if I have any issue, I should feel free to walk into his office. Let's discuss this and all the rest. I mean, he felt touched with the way I was very firm directing that particular issue. And then finally, where I'm now going to end, and then let's, those of us that have any question, to end, public policy. We actually need people, maybe those you studied law and you want to aspire to actually be in the judiciary, you want to make impact, maybe in whether it be low court, high court, Supreme Court, or anywhere, where you can actually begin to help to rebuild our institutions. Judiciary ought to be the hope of the common man. But unfortunately, justice can be bought over in many African countries. Justice is trampled upon. You have strong men and weak institutions, like Obama said. But then I must add, you actually need strong men to build strong institutions, because institutions are made up of individuals. But unfortunately, the strong men we have in Africa are so strong in evil. We need good men who are too good in goodness that to the point of even laying their lives, they are ready to confront the status quo. They are ready to put their lives on the line. Of course, you will need strong men who are good to build the right institution. We need them in our judiciary. What about the legislature? That ought to be the people's representative. That is indeed the hallmark of democracy. Because even in military rule, you always have the executive arm of government and the judiciary. But wherever and whenever you have the legislature, it's an indication that that country is practicing democracy, that the voice of the people should matter. Unfortunately, in most cases, we have people who do not even consult people through the constituency offices and town hall meetings. They go there to represent their interests. And particularly in Nigeria's own case, I don't know for some other African countries, where even with the hardship in the land, the citizens are doing the suffering, and the legislators are the ones enjoying the hardship allowance. I mean, part of the allowance they take is hardship allowance. We need young persons that can actually, learn politics, understand the path, get connected, get registered in a political party, especially the major ones, except you're actually thinking of forming a coalition. Globally, major parties win elections, right? It's a secret, except a coalition is formed. So young persons should get involved strategically, hijack these powers at legislative level, and of course the executive, where they begin to implement policies that mean well for the people. And with that, looking at these three major, streams, with that as young Africans, I believe we've got all it takes to make the change. Remember, in the words of Obama, change will not come if we wait for someone else, or for some time. We are indeed the change we've been waiting for. Thank you so much for listening. God bless Africa.
Wow. That was an amazing session. I'm sure everyone would agree with me. Thank you so much, CEO, for those gems that you shared. I'm sure John has a lot of things he wants to say right now. John, are you here? Would you like to say a few words? Amazing. So many gems to pick from. I think John's network is really, I think that's one of the issues we need to deal with, specifically in Nigeria. We cannot be having network issues in this time. Thank you so much, CEO, for that very, very enlightening session. Amazing. So many things to learn from.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I mean, you said, the one you said that particularly got my attention, you said connect to the future today. Sometimes we have these ideas of what we'd like to do, but it just seems so far away. But we can actually easily start today. You talked about service being the path to greatness. Indeed. And that's what really Yali is all about. Serving our community, serving our society, thinking first about helping the people. And particularly when you talked about holding leaders accountable, it's not just about saying you did this, you didn't do this. I mean, give us solid evidence. So I'm amazing thoughts that you shared. Thank you so much, sir. I can see the comment section, a lot of thank yous. All right, at this point, before you go, sir, please just bear with, indulge us. I'm sure a lot of people have questions they would like to ask you. So before we let you go, sir, if you could just help us answer a few questions. So I said, if you have any question, you can drop it in the chat box. Please do send your messages, or would like to speak, you can raise your hand. I can see a hand already raised. All right, Francis, I want to believe you have a question. So please you can unmute and ask your question, and so that CEO can answer that before he leaves.
All right, thank you. Thanks to the organizers. Thank you, CEO, for your time and quite an insightful session. CEO, I want to ask, bearing in mind that they say evil will thrive when good people do nothing. We have teeming youth of Africans, and we also have persons presently in positions of authority in the legislature, in the executive, and in the judiciary. Okay, and things are not going the way we want them to go. We are professionals in Yali, and some of us
Francis, did the network get you? Oh my goodness. Francis, if you can hear me, we cannot hear you again.
The network, he got out. The net. Okay, he's back now.
All right. I got a call. Sorry for the interruption.
Okay, yes. Francis, go ahead.
Do you see your future venturing into politics or in legislature or in the executive arm of government? Because you seem to have a lot of passion, a lot of foresight that will definitely lead Africa the right direction, sir. Thank you.
Okay, please, the latter part of your question, are you talking about like how young Africans can venture into legislation? Please, I want to get that right, Francis.
Yes, I directed the question directly to you. I want to know your drive. Personally, do you see yourself in the legislature, in the executive arm of government to implement some of the things you are passionate about? Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I see myself soon in the executive arm. As a matter of fact, by 2018, I have a couple of like two parties that approached me to run for governorship on their platform. So I'm hoping that before 2020, I should have been able to gather enough traction to run for governorship in Enugu State. God helping.
Awesome. Awesome. Wow. We really wish you all the best. We wish you all the best for that. That would be amazing. Yeah. Ali, your hand is up. Would you like to ask a question? I hope your network allows you.
Hello. If you can get me, I can just make my point.
Yes,
now.
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you, CEO, of course, the speech is so amazing. He mentioned that we must be able to hold our leaders accountable for whatever they do wrong to us. But I see the division of this governance system into the judiciary, executive, and legislative. I see sometimes too much of doctoring in this position. Sometimes perhaps the president can just appoint somebody to become this. So I wonder the strategy to really apply, because sometimes we hold them the influence. They can use influence to just escape some of these things. I think I mentioned that one in my comment box. So I just want to learn from the CEO here, from his speech now, other strategies, if there are any other strategies that we must use, apart from using the judiciary, because I see they are being doctored and you see too much of involvement of the government into the independent bodies. So is there any other way, other means that we should be using apart from using the judiciary to tackle some of these problems? Because we need to hold them accountable, I believe, but how to go about that, it has been too difficult for us. That is my concern. Thank you very much.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much for your question. In terms of like the strategies to engage our leaders, considering that there are weak institutions and ordinarily
the very essence of having three arms of government is that each arm should be able to serve as a check on the other. And if they have lived up to this responsibility, probably there would have been less of activism. And, of course, media campaigns and all the rest, naming and shaming strategy, where you call out leaders to name and then to shame and all the rest. But one of the things amidst all strategies I've seen that works in Nigeria's own case, because of course, when you take it to the courts, one of the aide of the president boasted publicly of knowing some people that can influence court decision. So it's not a new thing. It's also not a new thing where you begin to have like rubber stamp senators across various countries in Africa, or worse still, at the State House of Assembly. In fact, people do not even expect much from the State House of Assembly members. It's almost as good as whatever decision that they, in fact, in our own case in the Enugu State, where you have the governor presented the budget, and after reading out the budget, instead of these representatives interrogating the budget, they started clapping. And the next thing, the speaker carried the sledgehammer and hit it that the budget is approved. Now, if you want to take up like activism in that line, right? Like we did, part of what we did, like the budget of last year, there was an activism we did along that line, where the government earmarked 1 billion naira for building of public toilets, and none was built. So we started asking questions. 1 billion was earmarked for this. Why wasn't it done? So I think the difference that we can make is, instead of just saying, we are not feeling your impact as a leader, first of all, as young persons, ensure you have the budget of your state right in your hand. You have the budget of your nation right in your hand, so that anything you want to challenge, you can actually put the numbers. Listen, when somebody is speaking on assumption, and when somebody is speaking the truth and facts, the latter tends to confront the status quo more. No matter how small or inconsequential the person may even consider himself, when you speak that truth with so much of high degree of precision, everybody around that care to listen would actually be moved by that particular truth. And if others have been making business accusation against the person and the person never cared to do that, once the person hear, that's different thing you are ready to say. I mean, it's going to strike. Now, let me use this one instance, as an illustration. If you are close to this agency of government, National Orientation Agency, of course, there's so much that they ought to be doing as an agency of the government. Of course, it's one agency also that is established in all the 774 local governments. In all these 774 local governments, they have directors, they have staff, but unfortunately, they are not effective. Now, we are talking about NIN. The motivation to register for NIN is get registered or your line is blocked. You can imagine such kind of thing. Why NOA actually is supposed to be on the need why they need an NIN. But unfortunately, they will not do that. If you ask them, why are you not living up to your responsibility? The thing they will tell you is due to paucity of funds. The government is not funding our programs. We have less funds to do that. But then, one day I was with the DG, the Director General of NOA, and his essay. And I said, why are you people not felt nationwide? And they mentioned that paucity of funds. And you know what I told them that challenged them? I said, come to think about it. Teachers are paid to teach. And even if they don't receive any other extra money for extracurricular activity, they must have to teach to justify the money they are paid.
Present with very huge challenge. They all end up water-related disease.
Please, can you mute your mic? Please, can you mute your mic? Thank you. So sorry about that. Please go ahead, CEO.
Okay. So can you still hear me?
Yes,
please, we can hear you.
So I told him, I said, teachers are paid to teach. And those of your staff in the orientation agency, they are paid to orientate.
So if they will have to wait for special money to run special programs, why is Nigeria spending taxpayers' funds, paying people that even need orientation themselves? That was why I sounded to the man. And he was like, oh, it looked like what I'm saying is the truth. And I said, it doesn't look like the truth. It is just the what? The truth. So I now told him, I said, what we now need to begin to think is, how do we retrain your directors at the state level? And then from the state level, they can now trickle down the training to the local government level. So when we begin to also, and another thing again, I also want to, as a follow-up to the question he asked, please, when we also look at like changing whether Africa or whatever, it mustn't just necessarily be from the presidency, from the chief judge of, let's start from our communities. Let's engage the ministries, departments, and agencies. Let's start with our local government chairman saying, why is the health center in your local government not working? Why is this school dilapidated? What can be done to, by the time we start with that level, I'm sure we can begin to, like initiate this change one step at a time. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that, CEO. I don't see any questions in the chat box, but I trust, Ali, you got your response. Or who asked that question? I'm sure you got your response. Thank you so much for that. But I have a question myself, in fact, 2 questions actually, before we let you go. Now, the first one,
Jennifer,
you mentioned something
someone
about...
has a question there, would you?
Okay, where is it?
That's Mano.
Okay, that's Mano. Okay, Mano, Mano, can you hear me?
Hello.
Okay, please, Mano, you can go ahead.
I can. First, I would like to thank the Yali RLC for this wonderful training. I'm joining from Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso. So, but I have, my question is that at the beginning of the training, we had in the training platform, we had a questionnaire, and it is said that at the end also we have to fill this questionnaire. And also after that, there is a process for the alumni. So I would like to know how would be this process, especially for those who want to apply for the Mandela Fellowship at 25.
Okay, Mano, I think I'm the one that will answer that question. CEO, or CEO, would you like to answer? Because I don't think it really
No,
concerns.
go ahead.
All right, Mano, I think we can direct that question to Miss Caroline. She's actually supposed to be on this call, but she's not here right now. But we can send you her email address, so you can just pick her an email to ask her that question.
Okay.
That's it.
That's what I'm saying. We'll send you her email address. Would that be fine?
Okay. Okay. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you. Okay, CEO, let me just ask my question. You mentioned something about, talked about mentorship, right? I mean, one of the things we had to do in this Yali program was getting mentors, people that would mentor us through the process. And I did remember speaking with a couple of people and the challenges, first of all, number one, challenges they had in getting the mentors. That was one challenge. Number two, when they finally got people who would agree, getting those people who agreed to actually mentor them. And I think I even had that same issue. I got a mentor, of course, I understood she was busy and I explained to her how it was going to work. But she was too busy, really, and she still is, to literally do any form of mentorship to certain extent. So at the end, what we had were just like 2 sessions where we basically talked. And of course, I learned some things, but I feel mentoring, I mean, should have some kind of a time to it. So when you talk about getting mentors, how do young people who really would love to be mentored, for example, you talked about politics, we would love to meet politicians. Okay, can we learn from you? How can we learn from you? How do we deal with the challenge of getting people who are actually interested in, mentoring you? I mean, making you come into the circle of leaders, just as they have been able to break into that world. How do we deal with that challenge? And the second question, I reside in Nigeria. And as much as we have young people who would love to make a difference, the events of October 2020, I think those in Nigeria will relate to what I'm saying. really showed to everyone that speaking up in this country is not necessarily safe. I mean, that it was a group thing, so to say. So it wasn't just one person trying to make a difference, so to say. These were, I mean, numbers of people, but yet they got the kind of response that they got. Now, someone who maybe experienced that, and you're telling the person, you can still make a difference in your country, speak up, let the leaders, hear you, blah, 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 and all of that. How do you tell them that, see, you're going to keep fighting when there is a risk, a potential risk of them losing their lives? I don't know if you got my two questions.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, so starting from the first one, like mentoring, I think we need to understand the difference between tutoring and mentoring. The mistakes I've seen we make as young persons, like when we actually meet potential mentors, we're actually looking like for a situation where the person will create our time like all the time, like say, this is the keys to success. That's a tutor. A mentor, basically, if you have the most important, because, and sometimes also some others also refer to their role models as mentor, maybe someone that is a part of. But ideally, if you are in the same city with the person, and you've got the opportunity of, please today, sir, can I be at your office? Just to hang around, see how you are attending to people, how you relate, how you are, just by staying around the person, you are learning practically. You are learning time management, you are learning communication skills, you are learning engagement, you are learning, office management, you are learning too many things just by learning practically. Because listen, don't forget, according to scientists, we probably will be able to remember only 20% of the things we hear. But by the time you go to somebody's office, look at the way the person is coordinate or just hang around the person. Maybe the person is going for a public function. And you say, sir, can I accompany you? Can I carry your bag? Can I? To many young persons, they believe this is not what I came for. I beg, show me the secret. Tell me how to be a billionaire. Meanwhile, for the re-mentoring to actually start, you need to secure a space in the person's heart. Every person have a key to the heart. And many people don't even scratch it. Here they call the person mentor. And one of the worst things is you see somebody as your mentor, but the person cannot even see you as the mentee or protege. You understand what I'm saying? So it actually means that you are working on an assumption, because for the person to get to that point of actually seeing you, this person is ready to learn, and I can share a bit of myself, deeper things the person now needs to know, because some people actually think they have actually got the secret just by like, oh, the person tell you this, and the person have not even scratched the surface. The person is already running with the idea, yes, I've got the secret. In the next 10 years, people should look out for me. In the next 3 years, when you've not even learned anything. So what am I trying to say in essence? For anybody to mentor you, yes, a resourceful mentor must be somebody that will certainly be very, very busy. If the person is not busy, then the person's time is the person does not really have anything to offer you. So you must have to appreciate the person have to be busy. But then, interestingly, you must secure a space in the person's heart through the principle of association. Whether the person is not talking or not talking, people speak volumes, especially when they are not talking. So just by hanging around, observing some of these things, asking a few questions. Why did you do this? Why did you take this kind of decisions? Why this? Why this? That is when actually you are finding questions to your puzzle. And that is actually the benefit of mentoring. Otherwise, what will be the difference between having a mentor and reading a book on any subject area that you really care for? But you and I can agree, just like it is in legal practice. Even if you stay in law school for 10 years, until you start practicing, there are things you can never know. And that is why when you are out from law school, first thing you have to do is to stay under a principal. Understand his mannerisms. How does he coordinate his things? How does he prepare case file? You are just all around. Maybe after some months, you can say, okay, go and stand in for me for this last case and all the rest. That is actually what we call mentoring, staying under a principal, learning the mannerisms, understanding some things, getting the precepts line upon lines. And before you know, you've actually learned to ask why. The reason why this happened like this, and all this. And once you understand that, you are sure you have the basic foundation. And then number two, talking about the risk. Talking about the risk associated. The simple truth is that any person that must be able to make impact. Look at men that truly impacted their generation. It is a reality we have to come to terms with. It's a reality my own self also have come to terms with. And that is why, sometimes when I talk, it looks like I have a spare life. When I have opportunity of doing analysis over the televisions or radio or newspapers, I do that with all alacrity. You know why? You know what is the basic secret? Accept the risk. Because including maybe someone could just even post something online and someone will come for you. Martin Luther King till date is still celebrated even after several decades of departing. Mandela today is celebrated. Becoming a member Mandela of that statue, did they come on a platter? Now, let me end it this way. The truth of the matter is that those who say, if I perish, I perish, 99.9% of them never really do. But if, for whatever reason, one will have to pay the ultimate sacrifice, friends, we just have to accept that. But let me warn, please, when you start activism, know when is the right time to switch to advocacy. You can agree with me, what I would have expected from young Nigeria. You know, the government said on so day, there will be a military clampdown. It was announced. Yes. Now, what I would have expected, since the voices of the citizens have been heard, and the government at least said, okay, we are not changing SAT, let's bring SWAT, let's do this. What I now expected is, like I did say, that these two things in the civic space, they work in hand. So when you've done activism and your voice is now heard, the next thing now is to use advocacy to do what? Cement the process. But that was where young persons lost out. The number of days that the Lekki toll gate was occupied before it turned the way it did was strong enough to have made a point and to build on that. So that is what I believe in. Yes, it has risk. There is the aspect of risk management, but of course, it is riskier not to take a risk. So if we actually want to be the change, to make the change, we must understand that certainly it comes with responsibilities. But of course, why take uncalculated risk when actually you can have an alternative?
Your voice good.
The food for thought.
All right, thank you so very much, Mr. CEO, for that beautiful one. You've been awesome, and I trust everyone who has listened to you, even your session and then the questions, the responses response to the questions. I think we are getting a whole lot. Chinedu, you're raising your hand, but just before that, we are going to take this. We're going to go on a very quick break. That's going to be a theme song, Yali theme song, I Believe in Africa. Mr. CEO, I would really love you to still be around. Perhaps after this time, we'll just take one more question and then we go to networking
no problem.
aspect of it. Yeah. So we're going to be networking. We're going to be meeting ourselves after this break, and then we'll take one or two questions again. Yes. Thank you so very much, everyone. I hope that you would enjoy this one coming from,
Africa, I believe in Africa, I believe in you, I believe in Africa, I believe in Africa, I believe in Africa, I believe in you. Yeah. If we fall, we will rise again. Like the stars, we will shine again. We may cry, but we'll smile again. Africa will rise again. Yes, you can. Yes, I will fight my way through the storm. Yes, I can. Yes, I will. With the children of the future. Yes, I can. Yes, I will. It's your time to take control. Take control. What are you waiting for? Mama, mama, mama. We made it. Yeah. Mama, mama. Africa. I believe in Africa. I believe in Africa. I believe in you. Young African leaders. Young African leaders. Yali, yali, yali. Yali, yali, yali. Young African soldiers. Young African soldiers. Yali, yali, yali. Yali, yali, yali. Young African leaders. Young African leaders. Yali, yali, yali. Yali, yali, yali. Young African soldiers. Young African soldiers. Young African leaders. Young African soldiers. I believe in Africa. I believe in Africa. I believe in Africa. I believe in you. I believe in Africa. I believe in Africa. I believe in Africa. I believe in you. Yeah, mama, mama, mama. We made it. We made it. Mama, mama, mama. We made it. We made it. Mama, mama, mama. We made it.
Thank you very much for staying around. I hope you did enjoy that one. I Believe in Africa by, is it Lamborghini or something? Yeah, I think Lamborghini. It's a Yali theme song. I believe in Africa. I believe in Africa. I don't know who else does. Do you believe in Africa? Yes, I also believe in Africa. Thank you so very much. Okay. Right now, we want to do a meet and connect, and after which quickly we'll take one or two more questions, and that will be it. Okay, so right about now, I think I'll go by as I can see on my screen right now. I can see Chinedu, Chinda or something. I can see Obiano Ju. I can see Mr. Francis. Yes, Francis. I can see Blessing. So we're going to start with Chinedu. You're going to tell us, this is how it's going to be. Chinedu, you're going to tell us your name. You tell us who, basically introduce yourself in brief, and then tell us some things you're doing, what you're passionate about, and all of that. As you tell us all that, you listen to other persons as well. And as you're listening to Chinedu, as you've been listening to Chinedu or anybody you've been listening to, try to drop your comment. Oh, I want to connect with you, Chinedu. Let's connect, let's meet, and then you exchange. Perhaps drop your handles, drop your how we could reach you actually. Okay, so do all that, but be sure that or just know that you are actually online. This is a virtual thing, so you must not share every damn detail about you, like personal details. Okay, it's still just have to take caution. Actually, this is a virtual event, so you've not seen the person we've not seen ourselves personally, we've not seen ourselves face to face, we've not seen ourselves one-on-one. So you must be cautious of the kind of information you share with your network, with your new connect and all of that. Okay, so right about now we're starting with Chinedu. Chinedu, kindly unmute yourself and talk to us, introduce yourself and tell us a bit about yourself. 1 minute each. Okay, so let's listen to Chinedu. Chinedu, please, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Hey everyone.
1 minute. Good day.
Okay, I'm Dr. Chinedu Uchenna. I'm an optometrist by profession. Yeah, I'm a Nigerian and was trained in the business and entrepreneurship track in the Yali leadership training. Okay, and I hope to be a business owner very soon and an entrepreneur. And I hope to also do one or two things in the public sector. Yeah, my social media handles include at Dr. Ladies Official on Twitter, Instagram is Uchenna Azubike, Facebook is Uchenna Azubike. Yeah, that's basically me for now. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you very much, Dr. Chinedu Uchenna. Great. So kindly drop your handles on the chat session, okay, so that you could get to be met by others who may want to connect with you, like myself. Okay, yes, let's do that. All right, madam, we move to Mr. Alhaji Darami. Yeah. Alhaji Darami, the floor is yours. Kindly introduce yourself. You have just a minute, please. Meanwhile, if you listen to Dr. Chinedu, kindly reach out to him. Drop. Perhaps you want to connect with him. Yeah. All right. Do that. You could do that. Okay. One thing we need to actually move Africa forward is connect. We need to network with people of like minds and all of that. Like our guest speaker did say, we need a collaboration. We need a good network. Okay, so let's do that. Thank you. Alhaji Darami, if you're not on, I think I will move to Obianuju. Yeah, Obianuju, are you here with us? The floor is yours, please. 1 minute. Thank you. Okay, if Obianuju, okay, great.
Hello, good evening, everybody.
The floor is yours, please.
Good evening, everybody. Hello?
Good evening. Yeah, we can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. My name is Josephat Obianuju from Nigeria.
Could you speak directly? Hello, if you can hear me, speak directly to your mic. Speak directly to your phone if you're using a phone or your system or anything, your sound system or your means of your microphone or whatever. Speak directly into it. Don't speak far away from it. Thank you.
Your means of your phone from it. Okay. I say my name
is
Josephat Obianuju from Nigeria. I'm a teacher.
I can barely hear you, but I don't know if
from Nigeria.
Okay, great.
Okay.
I can hear you. I can hear you. Okay. Blessing. Blessing EB, please talk to us. Yeah, introduce yourself. Let's meet you. Let's connect with you. We want to know what you do, who you are, and then what you're passionate about, what you're currently doing. So we could, if there is anything we could do together, let's do that. Okay? Yeah. After Blessing, we move to Mr. Babatunde. Yeah, Dr. Babatunde Ayilola. Yeah, Dr. Babatunde Ayilola, please get set for us. So Blessing EB, are you on, please? Can you hear us? I doubt if she can hear. So Dr. Babatunde, could you kindly unmute yourself and talk to us, introduce yourself, and let's meet you. Thank you.
All right, good evening. Okay. It's been a great session all through the day. Thank you so much. I am Babatunde Ayilola. I'm a Nigerian. I'm a dentist by profession, but with a lot of experience in non-profit work. I am a serial volunteer. And at some point, I had to hone down my work to adolescent health and development. And since that time, I've been doing some works around ensuring affordable healthcare delivery to adolescents and health education for adolescents, basically in secondary schools, and utilizing the power of social media to reach out to the public at large. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so very much, Dr. Babatunde. Great work you're doing there. I really hope to connect with you soon online, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all of that, LinkedIn as well. All right. Thank you so very much. So we want to hear from Morufat. I think she did that before, but we still want to hear her. Lady Morufat. I hope I didn't murder that name, please. Alabi or Alan. Yeah, Alabi. Yeah.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening, great African leaders. This is Morufat Abosede Alabi. I am a mental health nurse and I'm also a mental health advocate. In the last 2 years, I've been working with Asido Foundation, which is a non-for-profit organization that give mental health support to people that is living with mental illness. I've also been volunteering with Mentally Aware Nigeria Initiative for the past 1 year. And the goal is also to drive home the point that without mental health, there can't be any health. And as we are on this journey along a lifetime, we need to take it one step at a time, irrespective of what we are going through. Presently, I work with the Department of Nursing, University of Ibadan as a mental health tutor. And in the course of my teaching, I've ensured that my students understand what it is to actually go through certain phases in life, and that all those phases, they are just temporary, just for a short period of time. And at the end of it all, it makes us to be a better version of ourselves in time. Thank you.
All right, thank you so very much, Moru Fat. That's what I think. Personally, I would have to connect with you. I am I'm doing something in that regard, like that line, mental health. So let's connect after now, okay? I think let's connect, okay, Lady Morufat. Great work you're doing there. All right, Mary Tosin Dara something. Mary Tosin, that's the only thing I can say. I'm saying Dara, other Dara Maula also. Okay, Mary Tosin, are you on? The floor is yours. Please unmute yourself. Thank you.
Oh, my name is Mary Tosin Daramola. I'm a nurse. I'm a renal nurse, and I'm also an entrepreneur. I'm into clothing and branding, and I've been helping people less privileged also to make impact in the society. Those that are unable to go to school. So I've been imparting knowledge in them in basically on clothing and customized ways and branding. So I've learned so much in Yali, and I'm also mentoring some other nurses too, junior ones, to be up to my standard, which I'm also hoping to be up to some people's standards. So, and in my own few way, and also I've been helping those people with renal failure to get funds for renal replacement therapy, either dialysis or renal transplant in and outside the country. So that is basically what I do. And I'm happy to be among great people, great achievers. Thank you very much.
Great one. Thank you so very much, Mary Tosin. Beautiful one there. If I need some clothing, I think I should contact you for that. First of all, clothing, yeah. And then after which let's connect. Let's connect like after now too. I think I would be happy to meet with you. We'll have to do that. That's the essence of this. I hope we're enjoying this. Actually, we are supposed to do a breakout, like create rooms. But if we do that, we're going to have a disconnect between our online audience, our online participants. Some fellows that are not joining, that are not here yet, they may want to, they cannot, join us. They cannot get what we'll be doing if we create rooms. That's why we decided to make it, do it this way. So just follow us like this, okay? And I do hope you're enjoying this. Please, if you're enjoying it, do drop your comment where the chat box there. Thank you very much. So we move to, Euphemia. Yuwandu. Thank you so very much. The floor is yours.
Your best. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, Euphemia.
Hello, can you hear me?
We're with you. We can hear you now. We can hear you now.
Okay. So thank you, Fumi and CEO, for hearing you all. It's an amazing section, and I'm speaking from the southeastern part of Nigeria, Imo State to be precise. I work in a not-for-profit sector that is focused on environment and sustainable development. I'm also a serial volunteer in the areas of free knowledge movement and the SDGs. And I'm also a part-time lecturer in the University of Imo State University, Uwere. And I'm open to opportunities and collaborations in the areas of SDGs, free knowledge movement, climate action, and working with young people. So I'll be glad to really work with anybody that is looking towards that direction. Thank you. Good to meet you all.
All right. Thank you so very much, Euphemia. I can't wait to work with you as well. We can't wait to collaborate and all that. You're doing very great. You're doing very well there. Thank you so very much, Euphemia. Yes, Lady J, Yeah, J. Lurex Nwalozie. Oh, Lady J. Lurex. Is it Lorex Nwalozie? Please kindly unmute yourself and introduce yourself. Let's meet you, please. Thank you.
All right. Greetings to everyone.
Greetings to you. Thank you.
My name is Nwalozie Jocelyn Lurex. I am a midwife and a founder of Lurex Health and Education Foundation.
Wait. Sorry. Sorry, we didn't get that. You're what?
A midwife.
Could you take that again? Okay, great. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm the founder and executive director of Lurex Health and Education Foundation. I am in Nigeria, Nasarawa State to be precise. And I'm more into community development work. Basically, I'm more interested in gender issues. I think for now, that's all I am wanting to share.
All right, thank you so very much, Lady J. Yeah, Lady J, thank you so very much. She's a midwife. She's the founder of Lorex Foundation. Yeah, thank you so very much. Please drop your handles. Let's get to connect, okay? Yeah, drop your handles. Let's get to connect. Euphemia, somebody is asking if you could send your handles. She would love to connect with you. Send your handles to her, please. That's Jennifer, okay? All right, thank you. We move on. Mary Achiever, the floor is yours. Kindly unmute yourself and introduce yourself, okay? Thank you. Mary Achiever.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Hello,
we can hear you. We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mary. I'm actually Mary Ojo, and I'm a dentist, and I am an advocate, oral health advocate, and also I advocate for sexual reproductive health, sexual and reproductive health. So, and I volunteer at African Development and Empowerment Foundation, where we focus on maternal and child health, and I've been involved in their activities so far, and I love their work. So I would like to connect with all great leaders, and I look forward to the future to work with you all. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm done.
All right, thank you so very much. Oh, thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. We'd love to connect with you too. So drop your handles and let's connect too, okay? Personally, I'll connect with you. Thank you. Great one. I think, yeah, on my screen, I think the next person on my screen is Lady Jennifer Olufumi Olaoshun, the co-host of this program. Should I skip her? Jennifer, should I skip you and then we'll come back to you? No? Yes? No? Yes?
I think you already introduced me, but just in case anybody's interested, very briefly, I work in the nonprofit sector. My organization focuses on indigent children, where we give services of, we give them free education. We have over 5 free schools in Nigeria, in India. Currently, we're building one in Ogun State. We also are into food. What we do is we give families, we support them with food items monthly, and also do skill acquisitions training so that they can learn some skills to start off businesses. And when they are done, we give them grants as well. So we are headquartered in Lagos, but we work in different countries around the world. As at 2020, we had worked in over 50 countries of the world. And in my capacity in the organization currently, I think John mentioned that I produce scripts for, any video that amplifies the organization, the work of the organization, the plight of indigent children, whatever it is, I produce the scripts that I use to produce the videos. And of course, if you are if you work with a nonprofit organization and you would want me to help with, because I think that's a problem with most NGOs. I've noticed we don't really focus on videos. but the power of video is really, really something that a lot of NGOs need to take advantage of. So if you need me to give you any directions or guidelines on how to go about it so that your work can be more out there and get more engagement, please feel free to engage with me. I just dropped my name is Olufumi Olaosun, and I use it on all my platforms. That's my name, Olufumi Olaosun, on all platforms. So you can be sure to reach out to me and we can take it from there. Thank you very much.
Great one there, Olufumi Olaosun. Great one there, Jennifer. Great one there for everyone that has introduced him or herself and all that. Now, Lady Jennifer, if you forget, first of all, before I introduce myself, I didn't say anything about myself, right? Yes, great. Before I do that, I want to say, before we leave this place, Lady Jennifer is going to ensure that she's going to promise me for something. Yes, she's going to promise me something that I'm just speaking for myself right now. Before I will come on her speak for herself after now. She must. Let me not say she must. Jennifer, I need something from you. That is all your videos. I could do something, okay? Voice over your documentaries and all the jingles and all your video content and other voice over. When you do, yeah, please, I do that. I edit and everything, anything yes. And like that. Let's start from that. That's it. Okay, she's laughing. Jennifer, yes, so I'm very, very serious. Very, very, very serious. Yes. Okay, next on my screen is Jennifer N. Jennifer N, please kindly unmute yourself and talk to us. Somebody's suggesting, hold on. Somebody's suggesting that we create a document. Please, would you mind? We could create a document. Yes. What did she say? Euphemia said so. Okay, Jennifer N, please introduce yourself. Let's meet you, please, while I read this stuff. Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Can you guys hear me?
Okay.
I'm Jennifer Waduneri in Nigeria, residing from Anambra, a teacher by profession. So I'm passionate about coaching and impacting knowledge. In future, I would love to own
Okay, Jennifer, I think you would need to drop your you would need to type something. You need to just type on use the chat button.
So far, that from Yali in my business partner. I'll drop this chat.
All right. Okay, I think the network there is not very friendly. With Jennifer. So I think she would just need to type and use the chat button. Chinedu, your hand is up. Lady Euphemia Uwandu, your hand is up, and Ali Barry, your hand is up. We'll come to you. Okay. Now, the next person is Ayola something. Ayola, please unmute yourself. We'll come to you, please. Euphemia. Ali, Barry, and Chinedu will come to you quickly. Let's just take this introduction from Ayola and Ekundayo will come to you. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Ayola, we can hear you. Good afternoon, or good evening, rather.
Okay, good evening. This is Ayola Latusu. I'm currently a public health master's student at Birmingham City University, rather, in England. So proud before that, I was a Yali fellow, and I also worked with new HIV microbicide advocacy. Specifically worked in HIV programming for adolescents. Then I was also an interviewer for Population Service International. So basically, I've worked in the health space for a while. So I just felt like connecting with everyone. So that's all about me for now.
All right, thank you very much, Ayola. Great one there. We'll connect. We will definitely love to connect with you. Okay, yeah. Morufat, I hope you're really dropping some things. You're picking and taking notes. But before that, Murafat rather, yeah, Murafat. This name I keep wondering. Murafat is out of this platform. Okay, so Ekundayo Ola Oluwadami Lola. Yeah, kindly unmute yourself and introduce yourself as well. Thank you.
All right, good evening. You can hear me. I'm in the traveling now. I'm in the journey. All right, my name is Ekundari Oluwadamilare. I'm an agripreneur that specializes on organic farming, and I'm the founder of an NGO, White Up Global, who does advocacy for quality education and empowerment of youth across Nigeria and in Africa. And I'm also the founder of Global Agud Light Farm that practices organic farming to ensuring that we take something of natural produce in our consumption. Presently, I've been working with different NGOs and organizations in ensuring that students are getting quality education and they are doing youth empowerment programs across the country so that everybody can be financially independent and we can ensure that there is zero hunger and zero poverty in our own little way. I would like to connect with everyone. I'm glad to be here in seeing like minds and great people around in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so very much, Mr. Ekundayo Oluwadami Lola. Thank you so very much. Great one. They would like to connect with you as well. Okay, so at this point, Ali Barry, you've not introduced yourself, so you're going to do that now. That's why I'm going to ask that you unmute yourself and then you bring down your hand as well. Kindly unmute yourself, introduce yourself, and yeah, let's start from there. Thank you. Ali Barry, thank you.
Hello, good evening. Once more to everybody from my side this evening now. I am Ali Bari from Sierra Leone. Of course, I'm a marine engineer. I studied marine engineering. I've been working with so many organizations, but for now, I work with two, primarily the Center for Academic Excellence and Research, and creating opportunity for young for disadvantaged persons. Of course, these organizations are what I they are the two I am presently working with. I am just volunteering anyways because I am teaching for now because I teach physics in a private school, but I am still working with those organizations that I mentioned. So for now, that's what I do. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so very much, Ali Bari. Thank you so very much. We'd love to connect with you. So drop your handles and all that, okay? Jennifer Ukamaka Jennifer. Okay, Ukamaka Jennifer Binelli. Okay, yeah, let's connect to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all that. Okay. Lady Euphemia, you want to say something? Yes. Unmute yourself and let's talk. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I just wanted to pour out some of my thoughts. I'm sorry if this is not on our agenda, but since we're already having this talk and we're having this gathering, I just felt it's also an opportunity for me to say this. We're talking about the impact and the access, and a lot of us are already doing something in that direction. A lot of us are already planning on how to start. I'll also like to draw from the CEO's statement about teamwork. I think some of the things that is going to really give a very positive impact and a very good visibility to the training we already had is on the issue of collaboration and partnerships. I think some of us that are already doing a whole lot of things, we could actually find out who is willing to do what and when the person is willing to do that. And then we can come together to see how we can be able to come together to work on some projects or help one person or the other to achieve a particular project in a particular focus. And even as we are trying to mention the issue of mentor, we're all looking for mentor. I also like to point out that most of us here are even mentors, even though we don't realize it. I mean, some of us are already doing something, even if it might seem small. And there are some of us that are maybe beginners or that might have one or two things to learn from people of this nature. So maybe by connecting and doing this, we could actually be able to learn one or two from that person. And that is also mentorship. If we can start from there and try to pick up some of these things, while we maybe try to find that particular mentor we are looking for, I think is also a very good one, because we have to leverage on our number and our diversity in this training. In as much as Yali has offered us this platform to have this sort of training, one of the key notable thing about this training is the diversity of the people involved in this training. So we could collaborate with people from different countries to actually run a particular project. And I think if we're able to do some of these things, it will really, really go a long way in really saying the essence of this training and making a very loud impact, rather than trying to do it individually all the time. That's just what I wanted to point out. Thank you.
All right, you did mention creating a Google form or a Google document too.
Yes, to get all the handles. I think if we can do that together and maybe share that in the WhatsApp or the Telegram group, so that most of us can still access this. Because if we don't do this and we leave here, the truth is some of us might not be able to get access to all these handles that are being dropped in the chat. So I think it's also something we can help us and do. It will serve it will go a long way. Thank you.
Okay, we will just try. We will try to do that. We'll try to do that. Okay. Yeah, but all right. Before I introduce myself, I want to also say that CEO is online. CEO is on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and every other platform you may think of. So kindly connect with him at on Twitter is Okinwa. Okinwa Chukuma. Yes, Okinwa Chukuma. That's at Twitter, Okinwa Chukuma. His handles, actually find him as, Chukuma Ephraim Okinwa. That's his name, CEO, Chukuma Ephraim Okinwa. Okay, so kindly connect with him. Yes. I think we would have to wrap up soon enough. That's after I do after my introduction, or a kind of, do I have to do that even? I just have to do that. And then we'll give the floor to Chinedu. He's been raising his hand, so we'll give the floor to him as well. Meanwhile, you could find more about, this is Twitter handle, Okinwa Chukuma, yes. So kindly connect with him too, all right? All right. My name is John Best Uche. I'm a multi-skilled, creative, and trained broadcast media practitioner with a number of years of active practice. Like I've practiced with online and the traditional media houses like nationwide. I love that. I've done lots of content and all that. Okay, I'm also the convener of End Depression campaign. That's mental health. Yeah, we advocate mental health and all that. End Depression campaign that was launched in 2019. Since then, we've been doing lots of things. Okay, I'm the founder and volunteer executive director of Right Minds Leaders Network. Right Minds Leaders Network is an advocacy and a leadership non-governmental organization of like-minded young adults who crave for positive impact at that. So, it's all about finding a way to impact our world. Yes, leadership-wise, advocacy-wise, and all of that. Okay, that's basically who I am. So I'm open for collaboration. I'm a volunteer and I'm an organizer. Yes, many of us may have known that virtually, I've been volunteering my services for some that we connect online and all that. I'll be volunteering for organizations, all that. So I've done all of these things, advocacy and all that. Okay. So my handles are right there. Twitter at official, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, official John Best. Twitter is just about John Best Minds. Okay. All right, let's connect. After now, we could do so many things together. Like I found there's so many persons here who can work with the mental health people, the ones who want to collaborate. Let's collaborate. Let's meet ourselves. Let's do things together. I've had calls from some of the fellows right here that they want to do this. Let's make it happen together. So that's basically that's who I am. That's what I am in for. Like helping to make things happen and then ensuring that lives are touched positively. Okay, basically that's me. I'll stop here. All right. I'll stop here. Right now we want to hear, Chinedu speak, and after Chinedu, then we'll hear the last word from our speaker, Mr. Chukuma Ifrem Okinwa, and he's going to give us, his last, final thoughts. After which, one last thing that is talking about how often or how regular this hangout is going to be like. Okay, so right now it is time for Chinedu Uchenna. Kindly unmute yourself and say something. Let's get to know what you have in mind to say. Thank you. I hope your network is fine.
Yeah, thank you, John Best. I am, like I said, Chinedu Azubuike, permitted to stand on the existing protocol, and I'm sorry I lost my voice. I'm still trying to recover. I'm still recovering. So I have this question. I need an advice. It's been bothering me. Okay, I know it's okay to have. Can you guys hear me? I hope you can hear me.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
I'll continue. I have a mentor. Okay, so I have a mentor, and I know it's not out of place to have a mentor in the political world. Yes, but then I think the line between mentorship and political godfatherism is vanishing, so to say. As a Nigerian, that's what I've noticed. And as a mentee, I don't know how to draw this line, to stand your ground and make it clear that actually what we are doing here is mentorship. You are the mentor, I am the mentee. You're not here to be my godfather or to use me to propagate your own selfish ideas and interests. So I don't know, I need that advice. Thank you.
All right, CEO, please kindly attend to that. Thank you.
Yeah, I think the basic thing to expect from a mentor is actually a function of who the mentor is at the first place. You cannot expect like a regular politician to offer you something that the basic foundation you need for common politicking, especially when it comes to the point where the person is already targeting compromising your values. If you just want to learn politics, for learning politics, not really to leverage on the person's platform to move forward, then of course that person may be the wrong person. But if the person actually represents the kind of value you want to share and to be known in politics, and you get close, he's ready to see that you not only serve him, but he's also interested in your political future. I mean, these are the kind of persons you should be able to look out for. I know it is really very difficult in Nigeria today. But then, if you have 4 criminals, the best you can do is choose the least criminal. What do I mean by that? There are people that, irrespective of the fact that they do certain things, they still have that conscience to say, even though this is done this way, politics is done this way, this is not the best way. For those of you that are younger generation, you still have a chance to make a change. And for all of you that are ready to leverage on our experience as politicians and avoid those pitfalls and come up with something better, we are here available to make you leverage on our shoulders. I believe these are the kind of politicians we should look out for, not the regular, everyday politician that to them, everything means gain, profit, selfish interest.
All right, thank you so very much for that response there. Key among it, he said, he has told, of course, following this conversation, following his presentation, and if before now you've actually got to know him, you also discover that he's been doing so well, in the line of effective leadership and all of that. So, personally, should I let me not say some things here now, okay? But if you've been following him, you know that he's such a great leader here. So lean on him and people or some other persons like him, okay? And then you could get what you're actually looking at, okay? I think that answers your question, Chinedu. Right? Okay.
Yes,
so next thing and final, next and final is Mr. CEO, could you just give us your final thoughts, and then we just take 5 minutes of time again to finalize on this, or then conclude our meeting right here. So your final thoughts here before you.
Yeah, my final thought on this issue is just like I did mention during the speech. If you forget every other thing, don't forget, for whatever future you desire, there are already those living or reflecting that future. Connect to them, not tomorrow, now. Look out for their contacts after this meeting. Make a move to say, I am coming fully. I want to take the business part. I want to learn from you. I want to take the civic part. I want to learn from you. I want to be in public policy. I want to learn from you. Maybe tonight you can do a journal. Just Google something on any track you choose for yourself. Sustain the fire, and you are sure that this is not going to be one of those sessions, but something indeed that will mark a complete turnaround in any part and track you've chosen to make an impact. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, Mr. CEO. We are very grateful, having you to talk to us, having you speak to us, having you, charge us, remind us of what we need to do. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, my brother.
I think we're still going to do a shout out at the end of this meeting, so we will not. I hope it won't be too much to ask that you still stay with us, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
Oh, great. Oh, great. So right about now, fellows, I want us to do something. How often do we, or what would you say about this we're having right now? What would you say about this, that actually this hangout? What do you have to say about it? And then how often do you want us to do this? We've spent over 2 hours now. Yes, over 2 hours now, but I hope it's worth it. I just hope it actually does. Okay, so what would you say about this hangout? And then how often or how regular would you want us to have this, from time to time? And so how regular do you want us to have this? We are just 12, we are just 11 right here, meaning that so many others have left the platform, but yet I think this is being streamed on YouTube and Facebook, so you could still access it and some other persons could still go through it, and then we'll share. I hope, Marufat, I think she's been dropping some things there. So I just hope we get this across to other fellows who are on, the Telegram and all of that. Okay. So how often do you want us to do this? First of all, how about this hangout? So talk to us. Who wants to talk, please? Who wants to talk to us, please?
Yeah, it's still me, Chinedu.
Okay, great.
All right. So this is a very welcome developments, and I pretty much enjoyed myself in as much as I came in late, but I was able to flow what was going on. So I believe like once a month is okay. Once every month is cool.
Once every month, okay. Okay, once every month, according to Chinedu. All right, Obiano, do you want to say anything? Dr. Babatunde, you want to say anything? Mary Tosin, you want to say something? Mary Achieva, you want to say something? Ayola, you want to say something to this regards? Let's hear you, please. Quickly, we have to wrap up right now.
It's indeed a great... Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, it's indeed a great time spent here. I think we should have it quarterly.
Quarterly, that's
yes,
okay.
And we should it should be limited to a particular time, maybe 2 hours or 3 hours. I think should take note of that. Thank you.
Okay. Quarterly. Okay, quarterly. All right. So, who wants to say something again before that should be the last person here. That should be the last person. Who wants to say something about that? Quickly. Thank you. Are we here? Okay. In the absence, okay. Alhaji Darami wants to say something. Okay, being that as it were, I think thank you so very much, everyone, for joining this meeting, this hangout. I hope it's the essence is actually being met, and that one is to connect, one is to charge ourselves. And I do hope that our speaker tonight has dealt with it, very, very, very well, very well, I must say. Thank you so very much, everyone, for your participation, for your interest in this. And I do hope that subsequently we'll make it better. Okay, do forgive me for my do I say yes, I did encountered some challenges at the beginning of this meeting. I do hope it will not repeat itself in the subsequent ones. Okay, but I must quarterly is okay. Yes, quarterly is okay. Someone is saying that. Lady Jennifer Olufumi Olaoshun being wonderful. She's been very wonderful. Of course, she started it even in my when I was having challenges, and that's what collaboration, talks about. That's what collaboration offers. Yeah, if I had said, okay, I was going to host this alone, perhaps the program would have flopped, right? Would have flopped in this program, right? Yes, but because I collaborated, like I said, I could not do it alone, host it alone, and Lady Jennifer, being here, she was able to ensure that we did not lack, anything. We did not flop completely, So I'm happy for that. So thank you so very much, Lady Jennifer, for that beautiful one. Right now, thank you so
everyone.
much.
Thank you, John. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you so much, John. Thank you, everyone. It was good to hear from all of you today. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. So. Yeah, thank you. So we are going by having these quarterly. Yet after all, we are still going to actually drop it on the platform, the general platform, so we get the opinions of others. Like, let's get to hear from them. Yes, if they say quarterly, we do it. Quarterly, we do it. Yeah, I think quarterly will be cool. So quarterly, let's look at that. So within the period that will not be together, I think it will be like, okay, when we'll be meeting quarterly, we want to hear the success stories, how we are impacting our the lives of our community and all of that. Okay, so that would be cool. So right about now, let's give a shout out to our speaker, the great one who did justice to everything we've done here today. A very big shout out to Mr. Chukwuma Okenwa, Mr. Chukwuma Ephraim Okenwa, CEO. So right now, let's all unmute our mic. Let's unmute our microphones, and then we do a shout out to him. Okay. So who's going to lead us? What are we going to say? Let's say it's in uniform. Oh yeah, uniformly. Let's do that uniformly.
Thank you, CEO.
Thank you, CEO. Thank you, CEO.
Yeah, thank you. Such a delight. Such a delight sharing some platform. I deeply appreciate.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much, sir. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Okay. I think Chinemeze, you're joining very late, and then we've spent almost 3 hours right now. So we may not have to say anything here again because everybody almost everybody is like, even though some wants to still continue, this session was being recorded. It's being recorded, it's still recorded, and it's being streamed live, so you could still get everything we talked about here. Okay, so after now, okay, right about now, I want to call it a wrap vote of thanks. Thank you so very much, everybody, for for making this a reality. It came to be. Yeah, we thought of it, and then it happened. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Okay, right now.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. But I'm going to quickly share the screen of these. I believe in Africa, and that's my sign off. Okay, so we're signing off. My name is John Best. I hosted these with Lady Jennifer Olufumi Olaoshun. Thank you so very much, everyone. Enjoy this one. If you are enjoying it, please dance to this song. Okay, dance to this song. Actually, dance to it. I believe in Africa. Yeah.
I believe in Africa. I believe in Africa. I believe in Africa. I believe in you. I believe in Africa. I believe in Africa. I believe in Africa. I believe in you. Yeah. If we fall, we will rise again. Like the stars, we will shine again. We may cry, but we'll smile again. Africa will rise again. Yes, you can. Yes, I will. Fight my way through the storm. Yes, I can. Yes, I will. We're the children of the future. Yes, I can. Yes, I will. It's your time to take control. Take control. What are you waiting for? Mama, mama, mama. Yeah. Mama, mama, mama. We made it. We made it. Mama, mama, mama. We made it. We made it. Yeah. We made it. We made it. I believe in Africa. I believe in Africa. I believe in Africa. I believe in you. Yali, yali, yali. Yali, yali, yali. Young African leaders. Young African leaders. Yali, yali, yali. Yali, yali, yali. Young African soldiers. Young African soldiers. Yali, yali, yali. Yali, yali, yali. Young African leaders. Young African leaders. Yali, yali, yali. Yali, yali, yali. Young African soldiers. Young African soldiers. Young African leaders. Young African soldiers. I believe in Africa. I believe in Africa. I believe in Africa. I believe in you. I believe in Africa. I believe in Africa. I believe in Africa. I believe in you. Yeah. Mama, mama, mama. We made it. We made it. Mama, mama, mama. We made it. We made it. Mama, mama, mama. We made it. We made it. Yeah. We made it. We made it. What?
All right. Thank you so very much, everyone, for participating, for making this happen. Odogu Chinemeze, Dunamis, great having you, even though you joined very late. Great one there. Great one there. Great one there. Great one there.
You're just blasting me. Mr. John. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody.
We're just left here right now.
I'm happy Mr. John Best himself is aware. I'm in Port Harcourt. I'm reaching us from Port Harcourt. I was caught up in my cousin's wedding, but that's not excuse enough not to join. I had to also make sure I joined us, even if it's for a brief time. I'm so happy everything went well here, and I would like to be pointed to where I can get maybe a slide or the recorded version of this very event so that I can listen to for myself. I'm happy I was able to join us at least. Good evening, everybody, reaching us from Port Harcourt.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. I think the link. Okay. I'm sharing the link right now. Yeah.
Okay.
The link to where you can watch it. It's right there on the screen, on the chat button, and then directly on YouTube, you can watch it as well. So I'm sharing that with you now, with everybody. So get it here. Okay, YouTube link, watch it here. Okay, Marufat, thank you so very much. Marufat, thank you so very much. I really hope we connect after now. Okay, let's connect after now. Right? Great having you. Marufat, talk to us now. She's smiling.
Yeah, I'm actually smiling.
Yeah, you're smiling.
Yeah.
Well done, well done, well done. So right now, I think we'll end the meeting, okay? It's almost 3 hours, like almost 3 hours, 4 to this time. So it's 4 o'clock to this time. So thank you so very much, everyone. It's a wrap from here. My name is John Best, founder and volunteer executive director, Right Minds Leaders Network. And this is what you're seeing on the screen, Right Minds Network there. Thank you very much. Great having you all around. I end the meeting right now.